All right, new things at the DMV. Not only has the DMV gotten rid of certain appointments to free up time for more walk-ins, but they've also added Saturday hours as well. Whether you need a new license or to get a new plate or you need to take a driving test, you know what? You can start planning to do that now. And you know what? You can do it tomorrow even. To talk about some of those changes and answer your DMV questions, we're joined by DMV Commissioner Wayne Goodwin. So what we want you to do is get your questions to him. You can start texting your questions. The number is on your screen right now. It is 336-379-5775. And of course, when you send your text question in, you get it answered in real time. All right, so let's talk about this. In the summertime, things are a little different, and we have Saturday hours.
That's right. We have Saturday hours, and very excited about that. I know in the 16 locations across the state, many of our citizens have the opportunity to have express services without an appointment being needed, and we hope folks will take advantage of it. Some weekends have been better than others, but if you need to learn more about it, go to myncdmv.gov.
All right, so there's 16 different DMV locations that have these Saturday hours, 8 to noon, right? No appointments necessary. And so there's 3 in our area.
That's right. You have East Greensboro, which is at 2527 East Market Street, West Greensboro at 2391 Coliseum Boulevard, and also if you're in Winston-Salem, 2001 Silas Creek Parkway. They're in the metro areas, but they're in your viewers region. You have an ample opportunity to go to those on Saturday, and this goes through Saturday, August 26th, and then we'll reassess and maybe we can continue these later in the year.
Okay. All right. So in May, teen driver laws kind of changed somewhat. So let's talk about what that means for teen drivers and maybe what that means for the parents at home too.
Right. There were a number of folks who were caught up in a law that originated during the pandemic. Folks remember that originally, if you were a teen driver, that you would need to go about it, go a period of time, about a year, for your next provisional license. And during the pandemic and shortly thereafter, the legislature shortened it to 6 months. And then there was a sunset on the law. And when January 1st of this year came about, all of a sudden the law reverted to what it was. And so a lot of our teen drivers who have been waiting and driving and getting the experience to get that next level, all of a sudden the law changed back to from 6 months to a year. So a few months ago, as you have reported on before, the legislature decided to temporarily revert it back to the 6 months to help address the backlog of students who have been waiting, and that'll continue at 6 months through the end of this year, and then starting in January 1, there's a compromise. You now only have to wait 9 months to have that experienced driving practice before going to the level 2 of the graduated driver license.
All right, so going from the level 2 graduated driver's license and not having to wait a whole year means that parents, your kids can drive themselves to some places without you having to be there.
As you go from each level, you can have more independence for the young driver. Obviously, starting off, you need to have a parent, guardian, and so on there. And then there was also a change to the law that allows during the school year you can have someone else who attends that school to be with the student if they're driving to and from school. So the law has been relaxed in a way while still doing its best to preserve public safety. We'll keep a watchful eye to see how it plays out in the real world.
All right, we're already getting a few text questions. This person wants to know, for renewals, do you still have to take a vision and a sign test?
No. If you and this is one of the beauties of it too, is that many folks forget that you can renew online, and that every other time that you renew, you don't have to go physically into the DMV. So if you follow the rules and nothing really strange happens in your life, you physically don't have to be at the DMV except once every 16 years. And if you're an older citizen, if you're 66 years and older, it's once every 10 years if you use the online option. If you're there in person, you'll need to take there'll be a test to check if you have knowledge of the signs and the like.
Okay, so if you are in person, you would do the vision and the sign test, but if you're not in person, you don't need to. And I guess this is a follow-up question. If your last license renew was online, can you renew online again? And the answer is no, you got to go every other one.
You have to go every other time, and there are a few little exceptions to that. If you are getting the real ID, the federal real ID for the first time, even if you were in person last time, you have to go in person for that. If you are a new resident of the state, you have to be in person, even if you had gone in person to your home state. So the rule of thumb though is if you're in North Carolina and you went the very first time to get your driver's license in person, then the next time it's online and rotates. So once every 16 years, you need to be in person.
Okay. So this person's saying, and this is going to be good for explaining timetable, they want to renew their license online. Their birthday's in November. So how long do they need to wait? Like when can they actually renew their license if their birthday is in November?
Okay. So they already have a license. The birthday's in November. Technically, you can renew, according to state law, you can renew your driver's license up to 6 months before the expiration date. So you could, whether in person or online, you could go up to 6 months in advance if you do it online. If you need to go in person, you have to decide if you want to schedule an appointment, which are in the morning hours, or if you want to be a walk-in, which is in the afternoon. And perhaps we'll chat about that more during our segment here. So
Absolutely.
I would suggest consider renewing early, and that way you won't forget about it. Or since you're this far out, schedule an appointment, and you're just far enough out where there should be some vacancies opening up for October, November.
Right, because some people really do like having it on their birthday for some odd reason. I don't know, but if you do, well, then you can make that appointment only in the morning day. All right, we're going to talk about that a little bit more when we come back. We're taking more of your questions in just a minute.